Kvarner is a fantastic destination in the summer, as you can see, but last December we went back to see what it's like in winter to figure out 25 reasons why you should never visit. On the Croatian Adriatic coast, nestled between Istria and Dalmatia, there is a little piece of paradise, some say, called Kvarner, which some people say is one of the most beautiful places on the Adriatic. Having lived here for 23 years, I would like to give you 25 reasons why you should never visit Kvarner. Here I am, my name is Paul Bradbury on the happy island Rab. Let's go and investigate. If you come to Rijeka, you may begin to wonder where you are. This is the most multicultural, most liberal city in the whole of Croatia, I would say, most alternative. And if you were born here in 1917 and you lived to 1992 and you never left your apartment, you would have lived in 12 different states and countries during that time. This is a real melting pot of culture and vibe, and it's an absolutely sensational place to hang out and just get the local vibe. I love it. If you spend too long on the Opati Riviera, your legs might fall off. This is home to the Lungomare, which is the longest and most beautiful coastal walkway in Croatia. We're here in Lovran at the beginning. It goes 12 kilometers all the way through to Velosko. It's been used for more than a century by people who are coming down here for this wonderful climate, and it's just a wonderful way to walk, see different communities in action, and one of the most highly recommended things that I would say to do in this beautiful region. If you're looking for a party vibe, then don't come to Cres. Officially the largest island in all Croatia, it has a population of just 3,000 humans and 12,000 sheep, so 4 lambs for every human. The slogan of the island is "No stress on Cres," and the locals here know how to relax, and it's a fantastic lifestyle, but don't expect to be partying until dawn. One of the reasons you should never visit Kvarner is the names are totally unpronounceable. Here we are in Mošćenica Draga, just below the village of Mošćenica. We can go along the river, along the Riviera to Crikvenica, or go to the island of Krk with no vowels, or the island of Cres where there is no stress, or even to the island of Lošinj, or there's also Brsec. Basically, have a glass of wine, relax, and the names will come eventually. If you're not very adventurous with your food choices, then please do not come to Kvarner, because this is a region where the slogan is the region of diversity, and from the mountainous food up in the hills of Gorski Kotar to the coast with its fantastic seafood to various specialities all over the islands, you will find something here that you've never tried before. And this is one of the reasons why in 2026 Kvarner will be the European region of gastronomy. They have really bizarre traditions, such as at Easter time they throw coins at eggs in front of the church. This is a very strange tradition in the village of Mošćenica up in the hills. And the idea is to throw these coins, and if they go inside the hard-boiled egg, then you win the prize. Good luck. Mali Lošinj is so boring that they've actually managed to build an entire museum based on one statue. Back in 1999, they found an ancient Greek statue of an athlete. He was 1 meter 92 tall, very well preserved, and it was brought up and has now been turned into the incredible Apoxiomenos Museum in Lošinj, and it's absolutely fantastic, well worth a visit, and has been travelling around the world internationally. A big reason why you should never visit Kvarner is you'll be blown away. First of all by the beauty, but also by the famous Bura wind, which is a northern wind which really flies down the Adriatic. This wind is fantastic, I love it. And day after a Bura, the weather is always absolutely fantastic, and it's my favourite time of the year to be in Croatia, is the morning after a Bura. Very crisp, very beautiful, cloudless blue skies. They have the weirdest traffic jams. Did you know that Lošinj and Cres used to be one island until many centuries ago they decided to cut it in two and make enough space for ships to go through? And every day at 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock, if you're driving across the two islands, it's a very short bridge. The bridge is closed and it's turned so that boats can get through. And here we are with this Maritime here, or kuna, and this is officially the first place that the kuna, the old currency of Croatia, was used. People had to pay with the hides of martens, or kuna, to get through with their boats. And it said, if you touch the tail of this marten, you'll be very lucky. So I'm hanging on for dear life. One of the reasons never to visit Kvarner is you will not understand the local language. Baška on Krk is known as one of the most important cradles of culture for the Croatian language, because in St. Lucia in Juvandor they found what they called the Baška tablets, which was the first time that the word Croatia was used in any sort of text. And this was done in Glagolithic, and this is regarded as one of the sort of most important parts of Croatian culture and its beginnings. The original now is in Zagreb, but you can still see a replica in the church itself. It's a beautiful, beautiful spot. And all around the island you'll see all these little statues, and these are the replicas of the Glagolithic alphabet all around. Beautiful. And if you come to this one right behind me, you can go zip lining, and the view is absolutely sensational. What an island. Their islands get invaded by Americans in the summer. Tragedy. The island of Susak is very interesting because there was mass emigration back in the 1960s, and everybody went off to New Jersey. And every year for the last 40 years they've had National Emigration Day on July the 27th, 28th, and it's an absolutely fantastic time when over 1,000 Americans come back to celebrate their heritage, and it's a really special bond between the island itself and the emigre community, and it's a wild, wild weekend. They ring bells without reason and they'll drive you crazy. Just outside of Rijeka there is the settlements of Kastav and Maturi, and here they have this wonderful tradition of zvončari, which translates literally as bell ringers. And they get dressed up in these incredible costumes and they go around into the forest chasing away evil spirits. And at big events like carnivals they come out to play, and it really is quite impressive. And if your ears are even a little bit sensitive, just watch out, but amazing stuff. Their beaches aren't real, but only belong in Greek mythology. If you go to the beach at Medvea on the Opati Riviera, this goes back to Greek times, and it was named after the sorceress Medea, who was the granddaughter of the Sun King Helios, and she was married to Jason of the Argonauts, and they spent time here. But from that Greek mythology has blossomed one of the best places for beaches in the whole of Croatia. Here we are today, for example, in Baška on the island of Krk. But wherever you go, there are fantastic beaches to be had. One more incredible reason to come to this beautiful area. When you come to the island of Cres, be careful when you look up, because you may see vultures circling. This is one of the most interesting places in Croatia, the Beli Griffin Vulture Visitor Centre. As you can see here, starting in 1850, the European population of vultures is fairly widespread throughout Europe, and over time it's gone down. Back in 1990, there were only 90 pairs of vultures left in Croatia, and thanks to the work of the visitor centre, that number's now risen to 157. These are magnificent creatures which can fly up to 10,000 metres high at 150 kilometres, and they're even longer than me, up to 2.4 to 2.8 metres. And the work of the rescue centre is fantastic, because when the baby vultures go out flying, during their early flights they can fall into the sea, and about 70% of them die. But they've all been GPS tracked here. When there is a problem, these guys are out there in their boats, and they're really helping to repopulate and grow the population of this unique bird. Be very careful about the drinking water on Cres, because it comes from Lake Vrana on the island, which is a natural freshwater lake, and it supplies all the water for both Lošinj and Cres. But if you drink this water, legend has it, you will have to come back. And as you can see, that would be a very difficult thing to do. Cheers. Perfect.
If you're thinking of breaking the law, don't come to Kvarner, because this is a very, very safe and law-abiding place. And its legal history goes back to January the 6th, 1288, when the first statute in the Croatian language in Glagolithic script was written. It's only the second legal statute in the Slavic language after one in Russia. And this really was one of the most important texts at the time, because it was one of the things that really put Croatian language and Croatia to the fore in a legal context. The original is housed in Zagreb, but there are excerpts from it here in the room here. And this is the National Museum and Gallery of Novi Vinodolski, and it has a lot of interesting stuff in here, including a really interesting exhibition opening tonight about 400 years since the Venetians came and attacked this wonderful town. And apparently, according to legend, the statute was signed in this room, so a very historic room for the Croatian nation. One of the dangers of coming on holiday to Kvarner is that when you go home you might have trouble breathing, because the air here is so clean and so fresh. It's cradle of health tourism in Croatia for 140 years, and just walking along the Lungomare on the Opati Riviera, for example, is one of the best things you can do for your lungs. Many people come here for health tourism and also just to relax and for a great climate, and especially out of season it's a wonderful place to come. Places like Opatija are open all year. One of the main reasons never to visit Kvarner is the wines are completely unpronounceable, at least when you first get here. Have 2 or 3 glasses and then suddenly things get a lot better. This is one of the premier wine regions of Croatia, and especially we're now here in Brbnik at Ivan Katunar, and we have the lovely Egla here who can say just a few words about the wine and maybe some of those quite hard to pronounce varieties. What do you have here? What do you produce?
Our main and most important variety is Žlahtina.
Žlahtina.
Žlahtina, right, or wine queen of Kvarner. Also, our colleagues produce Trojština.
Trojština.
Right.
Okay.
Our wine king is Sansigot.
Sansigot.
Jarbola.
Jarbola.
And Belica.
Belica.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, and what are we drinking here?
Rožica.
Rožica
is a pet nut of Cabernet Sauvignon, and I'm drinking our queen, sparkling from Žlahtina.
Živeli.
Živeli.
Don't stray too far from the coast when you come to Kvarner, because you could get lost in the beauty. Up in the hills in Gorski Kotar is a beautiful mountainous region of forests and rivers and quaint little villages, fantastic gastronomy. So very different to the coast and islands, but that's what makes this the region of diversity. Croatia has some incredible beaches, including the island of Rab, but you have to be very careful where you go, otherwise you might find Englishmen showing too much flesh, which, as you can imagine, will be a disaster. We're here on Kandarola Beach on the island of Rab. Back in 1936, this was an historic event because this is where FKK, or nature tourism, was born. King Edward had just abdicated from the British throne to marry his love Wallis Simpson, the American socialite, and they came on honeymoon and they came here to Rab on holiday, and after lunch they asked permission to go skinny dipping. This permission was granted because of his royal status, and this now is generally accepted as being the place where FKK naturist tourism began in Croatia. So one more thing that Brits gave to the world, lots of naked British bodies to develop tourism in Croatia. And actually, I suppose if the king can do it, so can I. So let's give it a go. Another reason not to visit is their boats are too old. If you look around, you'll see so many traditional wooden boats here in the Kvarner area, and a lot of them are very specific to individual islands and so on. And this is a reflection of the fantastic boat building tradition that has been here for centuries. And you can really go around to different places and they have specific boats for each individual island, for example. A wonderful way to see the heritage and tradition of this marvelous region. If you come to this region, you'll be completely confused, because here you can ski in the morning and swim in the afternoon. You can be on an idyllic island for breakfast and then end up in the mountains of Gorski Kotar. This is the most diverse destination in Croatia, the most authentic in many ways, I think, and one that is absolutely fantastic to discover. They think they have the best tourism promo movie ever. Last year, the Kvarner Tourist Board came out with an absolutely sensational video called Make Your Own Movie, which won multiple international awards, and for me was probably the best presentation I've ever seen of tourism in Croatia. They basically showcased the whole region as film sets for different scenarios. Here's the first few seconds, and we'll put a link at the end of this video to see the rest of it.
You are.
Do you have a moment?
Sure. I'm in my office.
So am I. Nobody likes them.
Yeah, they're all the same.
They make the most incredible claims about Olympic champions. Kvarner has incredible medical tourism and has had for over a century. Indeed, the Kvarner Health Tourism Cluster has built a brand about Kvarner much bigger than Croatia itself in the global medical tourism scene. And nobody symbolises that more than the incredible Vlasta Brozicevic, who's been pioneering healthcare in this region since 1990.
I'm Vlasta Brozicevic. I'm MD, a specialist for physical medicine, rehabilitation, rheumatologic disease and sport medicine. We established Terme Selce before 37 years as a first polyclinic for physical medicine and rehabilitation. And we are very proud because we take care about more than 120 Olympians, top athletes, and one of the name are Ivica and Janica Kostelic Modric, from Austria, Michaela Dorfmeister and Kalle Palander. Our approach are holistic with multidisciplinary approach, and our mission is to give the safety, quickly rehabilitation and come back in one natural Mediterranean Crikvenica Riviera.
They make the most ridiculous claims about history, claiming that it was here that the world famous and very successful Croatian tourism began. Allegedly in 1844 in Villa Angelina, right in the centre of Opatija, was the first private rental. And last year they celebrated 180 years of tourism in Opatija. And today you can still see Villa Angelina. It's now a tourism museum, surrounded by this wonderful, wonderful park and connected to this wonderful Opatija Riviera and the Lungomare. If you come to Rijeka, you won't recognize any of the locals. This is one of the great carnivals of Europe, the Rijeka Carnival. It's the biggest in Croatia, one of the biggest in Europe, and the city that flows really turns into a vibrant celebration of life, and the Rijeka Carnival is absolutely fantastic. Don't miss coming to see Rijeka during this period. It's one of the great events of the Croatian calendar. But the main reason you should never visit Kvarner is once you've been here for a week or two, you'll fall so in love you won't want to go back home. And then what would you tell your boss? Enjoy. So there you have it, 25 reasons why you should never visit Kvarner. Have I persuaded you? I hope not. This is an amazing region, and I really encourage you to visit from Gorski Kotar up in the mountains down to the wonderful Rivieras of Crikvenica and Opatija, and then onto these fabulous islands as well. This is the region of diversity, and I would say it's one of the most interesting to explore in all of Croatia. Enjoy.